Welcome back to more Path of Exile 2. In the last episode, we kind of just did a compilation of our progress, where we started in Act 2, defeated the bosses, got into Act 3 forwards through the interlude until we ended up in Endgame. So it was kind of a bit of a highlight compilation of some of the boss fights and our progress and some of our gems, our skill selection, and so on. I'm not following a build guide, just in case you're wondering. I'm playing SSF, and so far it's going good. I mean, eventually probably we're gonna have to look at a build guide, you know, when we get stuck, but for now it seems to be going pretty well. Now, as we saw at the end of the last episode when we did our first map, the end game is now introduced to you in a slightly different way. Before, I think it was just there and you kind of figured out what you wanted to do. Now it has a little bit more guidance, which is actually really nice. So when we started, we straight away were told, hey, there's a Precursor tower, go check it out. That tower comes with its own quest, and as far as I know, once you start going through this, the quest chain keeps going and pushing you further and further through this part of the end game. And while the Precursor tower quest chain Legacy of the Precursor is the main quest chain, as far as I understand, there's a few other ones for all the other league features. When I was running a couple of nodes randomly, I, for example, came across Abyss or Rituals or Delirium. And the first time I came across them, for example, for the Abyss, I straight away got an NPC telling me about the Well of Souls. So the Abyssal Power quest chain is gonna guide you through the whole Abyss feature. The same applies to Delirium, the Withered Willow, which is the quest chain that focuses on that feature. And then we have over here, I believe that is the Rituals Legacy of the Mahi that will focus on all the ritual stuff. And as far as I know, wherever those quest hubs are, every single node around there is focusing on that specific feature. Because I'm not following a build guide, there was some questions around the skills I'm using and the passive, so I'm gonna go over that. Feel free to use the timestamps in the video to just skip ahead and skip all this, but the people who are interested in it, this is my current skill setup. The Hollow Focus and Hollow Resonance, they're coming from my Ascendancy, so they're coming from here. We have Hollow Focus enabled here and Hollow Resonance enabled here. Hollow Focus is the buff that on the baseline, every 3 seconds, a bell pops up on the screen, and if you hit it, there's like a shockwave that gets created. It does a lot of damage. And then Hollow Resonance is where you have the bell on your back, and that causes a shockwave whenever you do a critical hit. And seeing that these bells that appear from Hollow Focus always critically hit, this will always explode when you hit them. These gems, absolutely, they could be the worst possible gems. This is just something that I thought maybe work, and some of them I probably completely misunderstand and think, yeah, you know, that works the way it does, but it might not at all. So let me know in the comments below if you're using a certain set of gems that you find that work really well with those. Then we're using Tempest Bell still. I only have 3 slots right now. I don't know what else I can put into it. I think it's very heavily physically damage focused. From what I understand, I already put in a gem that focuses mainly on physical hit damage and not elemental damage, because the elemental damage that comes from the bell when you hit it with Frost Strike is very minimal. I think without that gem, you can see it's something like fire damage 3 to 9, cold damage 22 to 34. I don't think it was worth it, so we're just gonna up the physical damage. Ice Strike is my big damage maker right now. We have Rage 3 in there, which I completely misread at the end of the last video, so if you left a comment, thank you very much. So this one here, I thought gives us 15 increased attack speed while we are at maximum rage. That's why I put it into both Glacial Cascade and Mist. I'm actually leaving it in for the moment because it does work quite well when you actually lose rage. So it does bump up the damage, but when you're on full rage, your full rage damage is much more. It goes up to something like 15,000 DPS with a full rage meter. Then we have Frost Bomb. Frost Bomb is basically to ensure elemental exposure. So we have the gems in there to increase the area of effect and to increase the exposure effect by 20%. I don't know what else to put in there, to be honest, at this stage, so I just left them free, those slots, right now, and didn't increase it. Then we have Frozen Locust. Frozen Locust is where these little crystals pop out and you hit them, they explode and they do a lot of damage. So we can see the explosion here with my gems is doing over 6,000 damage, which is absolutely fine. Tons of cold damage, of course, so we have the frost build-up, which is great, or the freeze build-up, which is fantastic. Then we have the cold attunement on it for more damage. We have elemental armament on it for more damage, and we have overabundance for an extra crystal. These crystals pop really, really fast, and if we use them like in a big group, both of them there can also do a lot of damage to a lot of rares, depending on what type of rare it is, and bosses, it helps a lot as well. Then we have Hand of Chayula, which I use as a trigger skill, which basically we are zooming in on an enemy, we hit them, we apply freezing mag, we apply elemental weakness, and then we also have a gem here for 25% increase of magnitude of curses. I did want to try out a gem there, but I forgot which one it was. I think after I finished recording, the last bit of the last episode, I was messing around with some of the nodes, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to try this out, and I completely forgot, so I'm drawing a blank. So if you have any idea what else would go in there, well, then let me know. We are using Herald of Ice and Herald of Ash. I used Herald of Thunder, but that never really triggered. You can see it when it triggers. It has these lightning effects, and I just can't get it to trigger because I'm not really doing much shock damage on the side, and I don't really want to move into shock. I played around with using the shock version of Ice Strike, but I don't know. It just, my damage felt weaker overall, so I'm focusing on ice at the moment. But Herald of Ash is great because Herald of Ash triggers when we overkill, and when we use Way of Frost to freeze things and then pound them, especially with Frozen Locust, and things explode, they always trigger Herald of Ash, so that gets triggered a lot, which is great. So for Herald of Ice, we're currently using Elemental Armament and Magnified Area. For Herald of Ash, we're using Magnified Area and Fire Mastery. And then in the end, we have Wave of Frost. Wave of Frost is where everything just freezes. It has a huge freeze build-up, which is fantastic. So you hit the mobs a couple of times, you pop a crystal down, and boom, Wave of Frost, usually instantly everything freezes, even without any help. Most of the time, trash mobs just instantly freeze, and that's great. And then you get the overkill, and you get the Herald of Ash triggered, which is great. So for that, we have freeze, which has 50% more freeze buildup. We have magnified area, of course, and then we have Ice Bite. Because we freeze constantly with this, well, except for boss fights, because I think there's like a diminishing return or something. So the first time to freeze a boss, it's quite quick, and then after that, it takes a while. But in general, when we freeze enemies, which when we clear trash, it happens all the time, we gain 25% of damage as cold damage for 5 seconds on freezing. Now, when it comes to my passives, there's obviously not a lot of variation. To be honest, when you play Monk, a lot of times you're gonna go down the same route. The beginning is not very exciting. What I try to focus on is extra elemental damage. So I went to the closest nodes that have extra elemental damage, but also increase elemental damage if you chilled an enemy recently, and increase elemental damage if you ignited an enemy recently. This one I can actually take out. That was a leftover when I was messing around with shock, which is actually great, so I can actually put more points somewhere else. Then we have critical hit chance, critical hit damage. Then we have increased mana efficiency. So this is just because I found myself a lot of times when I was hitting hard with Wave of Frost and everything, that I was starting to run low on mana. So this hopefully is enough to help out with that. At least I don't seem to have any mana issues right now at this time. Then we of course have more damage increase, just brute force more damage, and because it was on the way, very easy to access. And then over here, this I went down to get to a hollow palm technique, which allows us to use our quarterstaff skills without actually a quarterstaff, and it does more damage because it uses the level of the skill gem. Now, maybe once we get to a high level and we can't really increase our gem skills anymore, maybe we can find a quarterstaff that ends up with more damage overall, but right now that's not the case. Then again, more damage. I just pumped all the points in here while I was leveling up. And then we have attack speed and more attack speed, which obviously is very good to have more hits per second on Ice Strike. The jewel I have right now is just increased cold and chaos damage. Chaos damage not very interesting. Cast speed not very interesting. But the increased cold damage was probably the best thing I could have on a jewel right now. So I popped that in, but we can replace that whenever. Then over here, we went again, more critical hit chance, more critical hit chance. Our critical hit chance right now is sitting at 27.93%, which is fantastic. Then I went over here for more evasion rating and more energy shield. I know Hollow Palm only works based on the item number of energy shield and evasion, but overall increasing that obviously is very good for defense. It makes us live longer and be able to get out of silly one-hit scenarios very quickly, especially with the extra ward that gives us that bit of lifeline. I keep popping it, it helps a lot. I'm very bad at this game. And then we have extra critical hit chance here as well. Now again, I went down here also to get to the closest critical hit chance and critical hit damage. And then while I was there, I also started putting some points into more evasion, cold resistance, lightning resistance, energy shield, which helps a lot. So all this might change. It helps me right now from what I can tell. But yeah, this one we have to remove and probably replace it with the 10% incremental damage, because I don't think we're actually shocking anything right now. Let me actually do that right now before I forget it. So here we go. And that should actually as well increase our damage a little bit more straight away. There you go, 9,100, because we just never trigger the 30% on that anyway. I'm gonna try rare Waystone, but just one with only 3 modifiers, so we get 3 revives still. I'm gonna try to do the tower with that. Whoa, okay. There we go, that's it. Oh, we got 2 Waystones, nice.
This tower is indeed Precursor. We should activate it and study the results.
Is that not reckless? This tower could do any number of things.
I'm making a judgment call. Do it.
Oh, we got an irradiated tablet. What is happening? I don't think I've ever seen this cinematic before. Holy crap.
This is beyond my wildest expectations.
This fortress must have lain dormant for centuries. Are we sure we should be trifling with such things?
We are taking enormous risks, yes, but calculated ones. It is, as the Kalgurans might say, my style. Just imagine the knowledge that fortress contains. Understandably, but the potential reward is worth the risk. Find your way over there as soon as you can.
Wow, okay. Now we still have some rare monsters here, but I don't think it's worth the time to go back and try to get them. We're actually not that far away. It's only a couple of nodes to get over there. Let's try out a tier 2 Waystone. Oh, that guy, okay.
I cannot.
There we go, nice. That was actually not that difficult. Let's keep building into critical hit chance. That reminds me actually, I don't know what I was planning on doing up here. Oh yeah, energy shield. Ooh, critical hit chance. Let's take this out. I don't think I need this one. At least I don't hope so. And let's move into more critical hit chance. We're now at 29%. Now we're over 30%, very nice. The last ritual is right with the boss, that's crazy. There we go. There's an item in there which looks quite interesting. This amulet, critical hits ignore enemy monsters' elemental resistance, and we critically hit non-stop when we hit our little bells here. We'll see what else is there, if we survive. Oh, we have the dude show up again, are you kidding me? That is crazy. Oh no, 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 what's happening? No! Oh, the servers go bonkers, this is crazy timing. This is insane. Lagfest heaven. And we made it, holy crap. Alright, let's get it done before it crashes altogether. Let's see what we have in here. Okay, we have a belt, 13 cold resistance, 50 strength, increased life recovery from flask. And then we have the amulet here, which has the critical hits. Exalted orb will add only suffix modifiers. Oh yeah, let's get those omens. And then I'm gonna use the rest to offer as a tribute to the king. I have no idea what that means. So an audience with the king, I'm assuming, is some kind of boss fight maybe. So let's keep increasing that as well. All right, let's go and try the Ancient Gateway. I'm gonna try to do a tier 3 Waystone. Okay, so these doors are locked. I assume we have to open them.
Perhaps this lever will grant us passage.
Oh, that looks amazing. What? That looks crazy. Okay, the doors are open now. We found another lever. Okay, another lever. It seems that they're going in circles, so we probably have another one right here. And here's the last one.
The fortress responds as if stirred from slumber.
No. Okay. What is happening?
This mural, do you recognize it?
It depicts the fortress under siege. But what force could possibly threaten a bastion such as this? Now, we must investigate further. Remain calm.
Oriani, are you anticipating this?
What is happening? Oh, Genie Mac. Oh, there's two of them. Oh. No fight? I take it.
Fate conspires against us. Have we made a grave mistake?
We have no choice but to press on. But let us do so with extreme caution.
Reach the burning monolith.
The gate is open, and it seems the ley lines within the fortress are even more powerful than the ones outside. I will calibrate the way gate to these resonances. Perhaps we can use this new power to our advantage.
A column of flame erupts from the monolith. What could that mean?
That flame, that tower, they must be what this mural depicts. I have a bad feeling about this. You must reach that monolith as soon as possible. I doubt whatever is about to happen will be good for us. Not exactly the welcome into the fortress I was hoping for, but we must not let this stop us exploring the fortress further. Take them down.
Okay, so there's a powerful boss here. Grants an Atlas point. Ooh. I have this weird tier 3 Waystone, so we might as well try that one out. Oh, we have our first breach. Okay. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, no, 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 don't die, don't die. Okay, we got his health down, and there we go, come on. Okay, we got it. Wow. How did I survive this? 9 breach splinters. Okay, I take it.
Do not despair. If you rejoin the war effort, your training can continue from where you left off. As you know, the Keepers of the Flame are all that stand in the way of the Hiveborn consuming our world.
I'll get a knife, another 5
the enemy
splinters.
left these behind. They are critical to our mission and will help us in the war ahead. Collect all that you find. But first, on behalf of the Keepers of the Flame, I welcome you back to the monastery. It has changed somewhat since you left. Travel there. Then I can reveal more about our next steps.
If it is the Dreamer's will to have me return, then so be it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to start doing some of these before we're gonna continue into here. We'll see. I actually have no idea if you should just go straight up into this or if you should start doing some of the leak features. Here we go. He is very tanky. I find it so hard to hit him. Actually, I can't get my bell to trigger because whatever I hit is not actually him. Come on. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I always found this guy very hard to aim at. We got a tier 4 Waystone though. Very good. New Atlas passive. Oof. Rogue Exiles, they give you uniques as far as I know. Summoning circles, more essences. Essences are good actually to upgrade gear. I don't know what the spirits are for. More shrines or strong boxes. I think essences is the most practical I can think of right now. Yeah, we could do with more essences. They basically guarantee modifiers. Getting more of those means we could potentially end up crafting from very nice base item with a guaranteed modifier. That would be nice. Let's have a look at Hilda's campsite. I believe that's something that is recommended to do very early on, so we're gonna check it out.
Fancy seeing you out here.
I continue on the Dreamer's path. It seems your path has been fruitful.
That's right. This great beast were my latest target. Now it's my trophy. And I tell you what, it does more than just line my pocket. It's a real rush. Come to think of it, I bet you make a fine trophy hunter.
I will consider it. What does it involve?
It's dead simple, really. You get a target, you hunt it, you kill it. You keep the rewards and notoriety, while I keep the carcass. Or at least what's left of it. Now, last I heard, a great beast was roaming through that area. If you can track it down and put it down, well, then that's all there is to it. Oh, it's worth noting, none of these beasts will go down easy. So you best bring all you've got to the hunt. Right, any questions?
I am not stupid. Kill the beast. Simple enough.
That's it.
Okay, let's go and slay that great beast, or at least try for Hilda's favor. So is the beast the final boss? Oh. Oh, that was bad. Oh, that is the great beast. You can see it there in the nameplate. Nice. There we go, there we go, there we go. Come on. There we go, that's it. Beautiful. Got a tier 5 Waystone, love it. And we got an Atlas Master's Point.
You've done a fine job. Dare I say, this beast looks even more formidable than last I saw it. Well, you've earned your trophy hunter badge today, that's for sure. Now, you up for another challenge? I think you might be ready for this one. Only one way to find out.
Consider it dead.
Good luck, trophy hunter.
Atlas Mastery Point, what is that? Hilda's hunting, so she has her own little tree for monster hunting. Now, from what I understand, Mighty Prey is something that you definitely want to pick because of powerful map bosses. They have a chance of dropping higher tier Waystones. So if you run a tier 3 Waystone map, you have a higher chance of getting tier 4 Waystones, getting you into the next tier sooner. So I think that is the one we want to focus on. All right, let's go back on track towards the Burning Monolith. We want to pick up obviously as many of those map bosses as possible to get a chance at higher tier Waystones, because I still only run Waystone tier 3. Okay, let's do this and also use my Precursor tablets. Our next point. Let's just divide between essences and strongboxes. Let's go and do imprisoned monstrosities first. There we go, we got him. And we got an upgrade to our Waystone. Very nice. Okay, we got ourselves another point. More essences. Yes. Get ourselves another point. Oh, more essences? Yes, absolutely. I increased the gem slot for Herald of Ice. I have currently Element Armament 2 and Magnified Area. We're going to put in Cold Attunement for a huge spike in damage, because I've been ignoring Herald of Ice and it keeps obviously exploding all the time. And for the last one, I think Cold Mastery to get that extra level up, so we get that extra bit of damage. So those two gems increase my damage from 2.6 to 3.7. The Burning Monolith. Let's go.
This door, it requires 3 fragments. One is already present. Something about it feels wrong, instinctively disturbing.
If it is disturbing to you, then it should be doubly so for the rest of us.
Wait, I am detecting 2 similar resonant signatures much further into the fortress. I believe the other 2 fragments are beyond these gates. We need to get inside. Seek out the other 2 fragments. I will remain here. I must contemplate the nature of this thing.
Okay, at least we got some directions
The
now.
way is shut. I must seek the missing pieces.
So this one here, we need tier 5 Waystones, and it gives us 3 points. And this one, we also need tier 5 Waystones. We're currently running tier 4 Waystones, so I'm just gonna focus on the nodes here, try to get to tier 5, and then we can start looking at breaking through these gateways here. Let's activate Essence of Dowsing and see if we can get something with evasion or with jewelry physical damage. Armor extra evasion? That's nice. And amulet increase. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with 3 here. And we're already seeing greater essences of enhancements dropping. Lovely. Oh, look at that. 30% increased movement speed? And how much would we lose out if we replace that? Yeah, we would have to get some cold and lightning resistance in. But we have some cold resistance here. And then we just need some lightning. We have some 14% lightning resistance. Can put that in here. 62%. That's not bad. Okay, this one looks very good. 30% lightning resistance, cold resistance, and lightning resistance. That was a good swap. We actually have all our resistances now sorted out, but it also means our lightning resistances we can now replace again with evasion, and our cold resistance here we probably can replace with evasion as well. This is a voiceover now because my microphone stopped working, so I apologize for that. But basically what you see here is now the Atlas points that I spent as we make our way over to the first gateway. We're getting into the first gateway now, and so we have to activate all the levers here like we did in the previous one to spawn the boss.
I don't think I've fought that boss before, so that was kind of new. There was a lot going on with this boss. And then I got a bit greedy. I tried to finish him there and nearly died. But we got it in the end.
Proceed. Activate it. The way is open. The energies in this area are even stronger. They seem to lead here. Proceed with caution. I am still perturbed by the fragments we seek. Return to me at the Monolith when you have found one of them.
Another proverbial mountain to climb. So be it.
Until next time.
The 3 points we got, I want to start using to move over to the right to the Pathkeeper's node, so we can get a higher quantity of Waystones drops from the bosses. We're on our way to the next gateway now, and we also want to spend more points going to the left in the Atlas tree now to atop the world, which is another 10% increased quantity of Waystones dropped by map bosses. Now we reach the gateway, and the same principle again, the levers to be pulled, boss fight. This was also very chaotic, haven't fought him before in any other map. A lot going on as well.
Activate this tower. The final gate is open. We should be able to find a fragment here.
Now the 3 points I earned from that, I'm going to spend getting closer to the top of the world. We're nearly there, 1 more point. We're back to live commentary now. Sorry I had to do some voiceover over the last bit of recording, but I also lost some of the footage, so my apologies. Things just went wrong, but I'm going to catch you up now. The last thing I believe that I have in the recording is that we opened the gates, and now we have access to the fragments. However, we need tier 10 Waystones for that, so that will take me a little bit to grind. I made a skill change, which I had a recording of, but I also had issues with it the same then with the microphone with some of the footage, so I'm gonna catch you up now. I basically changed Hand of Chayula Vs Pounce, and there was 2 reasons for it. One is traversal. Eye Strike and Hand of Chayula are great for traversal. I mean, if I come across an enemy in the distance, I can just click on them and I zoom basically from target to target. Absolutely fantastic. However, I do need a target, which is the problem. Not only that, but unlike Eye Strike, Hand of Chayula can actually target those bells, and whenever the boss was near the bells or target, it kept hitting the bells, and I couldn't apply my marks properly whenever I wanted to the target that I intended it to, which caused some problems and caused me to jump around a little bit, wait for the bells to go, and then hit the target eventually. Pounce makes this a lot easier because I can just use it. I don't need a target, and not only that, Pounce also applies a mark, a predator's mark, but it does that to the nearest enemy. So I don't even need to be exactly on top of everybody, which is brilliant. So when I have a boss fight, I can very reliably use Pounce and it will always apply the mark, unlike Hand of Chayula, which kept missing half the time hitting the bells. Now in regards to gems, I put in close combat, which is very obvious, but some of the other things I wasn't really sure of, so I had to look them up, and what I ended up with was Mark of Death 2, Life Leech 2, Opening Move, and then of course close combat. And here we can see, for example, during the boss fight, I don't have to worry about bells being near the boss. I can just jump in, mark is applied, end of story.
Not yet.
I'm unable.
Now I still have a way to go to grind to level 10 Waystones. I just got my first tier 9, so it will take me a while to get to a solid tier 10 stash. And until then, I'm gonna leave this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, remember to kick that like button in the balls, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, as always, viel Spaß and happy gaming.